Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Ignite podcast. So, team, today I want to talk to you about a concept called the 3 1s. So, I've just run a training for all of my clients in my boardroom program, which is purely for business owners of engineering consultancies. And the 3 1s is essentially this: it's one client, it's one way to connect with that client, and it's one problem and your solution to that problem. And I want to use today's podcast episode to actually explain a little bit about why this is so important and how this helps business owners really streamline their systems, their processes, and then eventually allows them to scale their businesses. So one of the biggest problems I see out there at the moment is that in general, business owners or engineering consultancies want to be generalists. They want to be, jack of all trades, all things to all people, be able to do, that design for you over here, Mr. and Mrs. Client, I can do this thing for you over here. And they want to be, like I said, all things to all people. And that comes from really a scarcity mentality of taking any work that you possibly can. And so what I want to address today in terms of talking about the 3 1s is how to help you get really, really clear on a really simple system and process that you can build into your business that allows you to build systems and processes around that and then allows you to scale. So because we fall into this mentality of the generalist and wanting to be all things to all people, like I said, we're going for government tenders over here, we're chasing private developers over here, we're wanting to work with major contractors over here. We haven't stopped and slowed down and got really clear on the type of work that we want to be doing and the type of client that we want to work for. So the first concept of the 3 1s is one client, meaning I only work for one client. And to explain a little bit more about this, 3 1s, 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. You want to be running this process of the 3 1s really until you reach about 3 million revenue. Then as a business owner, you're bringing on your leadership team, you're bringing on another team leader who that team leader can focus on their set of 3 1s, having, that team leader's got a team around them who's focusing on their ideal clients and their 3 1s, and you've got your team and you're focusing on your 3 1s, and then you grow and scale from there. So really you should be running this process at least until you hit 3 million revenue. And then you can obviously bring on leadership team and scale from there even further. But we want to get really clear on our ideal client. So, an exercise that's so great is to stop, sit down and go, well, who's my ideal client? What kind of work do I love doing? What kind of work do I enjoy doing? What kind of clients are out there who are, spending money in this space? Really just spend some time by yourself working out your one ideal client. So again, I see so many consultancies, maybe in the civil space chasing D&C contractors, and they want to work for a private developer and they want to work for local government, and they're 6 people or 8 people, or they're a single man band, so to speak. That just burns you out, because the biggest thing that I want to talk about today is think about all the systems that you have to build to serve all those different clients. And this is the activity that I ran with my clients recently, which is, okay, well, if you're going to go and chase local government work, private developers, and say a D&C contractor, okay, well, you're in the setup phase. What kind of processes do you need for that? Oh, okay, well, I'd need 3 separate processes to set up the project, because of all of my clients in those spaces like things done differently. Okay, and what about the delivery phase? Oh, I'll have to have a whole bunch of different processes for the delivery phase of those projects, because the D&C contractor wants their project delivered differently to a private developer who wants their project delivered differently to a local authority. Oh, okay, so now we're up to about 10 different processes. And so you can start to see that, if you're spreading yourself so thin around a whole bunch of different clients, you're creating so much work for yourself internally, because you've got to build a process for a local government client, a process for a D&C contractor, a process for a private developer, et cetera, et cetera. You start to get the picture. So you're just running around like a headless chook. You're tired and burnt out, and you wonder why. It's because you haven't stopped to choose one particular client. And so as I'm talking, I want you to not just feel people in this space, when I talk to my clients about choosing one client, they're like, but Josh, what about I'm leaving all of that work on the table? If I pick a private developer, I'm leaving local government work on the table, I'm leaving D&C contractor work on the table. And my answer to that is yes, but you are picking one person who has heaps of work on at the moment, and you can get really, really good at doing work for that one client, and then your business can grow and scale from there. There is no shortage of work. You get really good at delivering work for one person or one client or one particular business, and then you grow, you build systems around that, and then you grow and scale from there. So don't worry about leaving money on the table. If you're really passionate about working with private developers, or you're really passionate about working with local government, and you want to do purely residential subdivisions for private developers, or you want to do purely industrial sheds for D&C contractors, or you want to purely do, EISs for mining companies, whatever your one thing is for one client, you get really clear on that, and then you grow and scale from there. So that's the first thing. Pick one client, get really, really clear on that client. The second thing is one connection source. So where are you going to meet these clients? So again, is it LinkedIn? Is it networking events? Is it online tenders? Again, so many business owners in the engineering industry spend all of their time spread amongst all of these different ways they could be winning work. So they're going to, boozy lunches and networking events where the chances of them actually meeting an ideal client are pretty much 1%. They're doing stuff on tenders where, if they haven't honed their tender process on online tenders or local government tenders, if they haven't spent the time honing their process there, the chances of winning are 1%. So where is your one area? So think about your client. Once you're really clear on your ideal client and who that person is and the type of work that you want to do, well, where is that work? Where do you find that work? So if it's LinkedIn, great. Pick LinkedIn and go. I talk a lot about this to my clients: an inch wide, a mile deep. Know everything that there is to know about marketing on LinkedIn. If you're doing networking events, great. Do your research, understand where are your ideal clients going to be there. Don't go to them if your ideal client's not going to be there. If it's online tenders, okay, great. If that's where all your work's going to come from, because that's your ideal client, that's the ideal work you want to do, you need to learn and understand everything there is to know about online tenders. So we've got one client, we've got one way to find that client, and then we want to work out, their problem and our solution to their problem. So again, this stopping, it's thinking about this ideal client. Who are they? What are their pain points? What are their frustration? What keeps them up at night? What problems do they need help solving? I want you to really stop and think about all of those problems and pain points that your ideal client has. And then what are your solutions to those pain points? Because the more that you can position yourself in the marketplace by doing good work, talking about that great work, client testimonials and all that sort of thing from that one client avatar, remember, the more word of mouth spreads, the more you get traction, the more you start to really become known for the results that you get in that marketplace for that one particular client. And then all of that client's competitors and all the people that, they're watching and looking, go, I want to work with that consultancy because they can solve that problem that I've got, an issue with. So team, 3 1s. You want to simplify. And it's the old saying, simple, what is it? Simple scales, complex fails. Yeah, I think that's the saying. Simple scales, complex fails. So you want to simplify your business. One client, one way to find them, one set of problems, and your solution to those problems, the 3 1s. So you want to be doing this until you hit at least 3 mil a year, because what you're doing is you're building systems and processes around how you run those 3 1s. You get really good at solving your one client's problem. You build a system around that. You get really good at solving your client's other problem. You build a system around that. And over time, you can get your team running those systems and processes, and you just get really, really efficient at how you run those projects. And what happens is clients love you. They keep coming back. Word of mouth spreads. Your marketing's working. And all of a sudden, you're scaling your business off the back of one client, one way to find that client, one set of problems, in your solution to them. So team, if you are running around feeling burnt out, tired, all that sort of thing, really honestly consider building the 3-1s into your business. It's absolute game changer. I want you to simplify things right down in order to get things working well, and then you can scale from there super easily. So team, like I said, that was a training that I ran for my boardroom clients. If you'd like some help with anything like that, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to have a chat with you. If you are a business owner of an engineering consultancy, I'd love to have a chat with you about how I could help you build your business and grow and scale as well. But team, that's it for me today on the podcast. Love to hear your thoughts or comments if you've got any. Otherwise, have an amazing day.